seriously, just literally amazing you look. So, hi there everybody. It's Friday night freestyle in the building. We're gonna have a good time tonight, guys. We're gonna have a grand old time. Now let me tell you everything I've done with my canvas so far, so you can do your canvas up the exact same way, okay? Now we have our two stencils on this painting. One of them is in the shape of Florida, the other one is in the shape of the seashell. You can get both of these. The mods will tell you how to get them, where to go, how to find them, all that stuff. And we're gonna be using the Paint with Josh brushes only on this painting. Again, they're still running that code, and the mods will tell you the code and everything else that they need to do in order to help me out. So welcome to the show, everybody. Hi there, it's Paint with Josh. Nice to see you again. You guys are looking fabulous. What we're gonna do first with our canvas that already has our liquid white paint across the entire thing is take our little bit of blue and dump it on. Now you'll notice that the Paint with Josh brushes are a lot softer than any other brush kit, really. They're a synthetic hog hair bristle brush, which are just amazing, and you can make them really soft, really striking, all up to you guys and how much paint you're putting on that canvas, right? The more that we blend down over that liquid white base, which again is wet across the entire canvas, the more it's going to blend into this gorgeous looking thing, right? It doesn't have to just be the same color blue across your entire painting. That's not gonna be any fun. So let the colors change up and it's fantastic. I'm really seriously excited about how many other people I've been seeing doing stencils. As soon as we started doing these stencils, of course, everyone starts doing their own stencils and trying to, you know, expand on our ideas. And so I just want to thank Danny from Happily Painted for these stencils. They're amazing. And we don't need much more than that for a sky, guys, honestly. We could put a couple little clouds out there in the night, I guess. If you wanted to throw some out there, we could. We could take our titanium white onto our Paint with Josh fan brush, loading it up. So it's very sharp, right? Holding all the bristles together, very sharp little brush. And let's just say out there, just a little bit, little touch here, little bit there, just crisscrossing across our sky, just kind of mushing it on. That's the best part about those Paint with Josh brushes, is that you'll get these crazy little pop-up deals that are gonna stick up and out of our sky. Look very, very, very cool. Now we're gonna take our 1-inch brush, the old Paint with Josh 1-inch brush. I love them because you get a lot of movement out of those bristles without really moving a lot of paint, right? So if you ever grab one of the other brushes, or Bob's brush, let's say, and you push on it, your paint moves too far, maybe the bristles are a little bit too stiff for you. And this one, it kind of floats around and just lives out there all day. Just gorgeous. Just honestly fantabulous. This little thing right out there in the day. What an awesome little painting so far. Now let's load up on our blue paint. We'll get a little bit of blue, a little bit of black paint onto our brush. Not so much black, more blue than black, right? And then let's try to do a very difficult thing, which is painting a straight line onto a canvas, right? Have you guys ever tried to do that? Paint a little straight line out there. It's not as easy as it might look, right? So, you guys are amazing. Thanks for watching everywhere. We're streaming on all 3 platforms again for Friday Night Freestyle using only Paint with Josh brushes, and the mods will tell you how you can get these things. They're gorgeous. Now, let's come out here, and let's just say, right there, we're gonna try to attempt to paint a straight horizon out there. All right, and I'm gonna back up and I'm gonna look because it's probably not very level, right? Most times, that's actually really level. How about that, Josh? It's that Paint with Josh brush, I'm telling you. We're gonna go across this guy like that. A little bit of our blue and black paint back there, okay? We don't want it to get too big or too close to us, okay? We're gonna go into our phthalo green, plop a little bit of that phthalo green out here in the front, letting it kind of mix in with our blue and black paint back there. Not everything has to be so perfect, right? And we got a little bit too much paint onto our brush, so instead of washing it, we're going to dab it off very vigorously onto a paper towel, right? And that's going to remove the majority of the paint, and so it won't drop anymore, and we can start to blend the stuff that's there, okay? Now let's say you blend too much of your phthalo green or tealy blue area up into the backwater and you have too much going on. That's okay. You can always go back and adjust it back down, right? There's never really like, oh no, I ruined it, quote unquote, because we can always come back in here with a little bit more blue, a little bit more black onto our brush. Get back out there, stay underneath our horizon line, way back there in the day, right? Now, the more that you put on there, the darker it gets, the further away it's going to look. This is going to look a lot closer. And let's get in here now. We don't have too much paint on the brush. A little bit of our 2 brown colors. There we go. Skin's coming off. There it is. There they are. And remember, you don't want to have too much brown on the brush. Otherwise, it's going to be way too dark, okay? Let's actually drop our darkest point right in here, the heaviest portion, right, when we have that most amount of paint onto our brush, because the water is a little bit more saturated, the sand back there. Gonna let that guy blend up. It's gonna look really, really, really neat. Now that the majority of the paint is off of the brush, don't forget about the tip over there of Florida. Now that the majority of the paint's off the brush, I can come down here very lightly. I want to get a little bit more of my brown color. A little bit light, 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 light. Barely even adding any paint to that area. And then when we mix it, we'll have that gorgeous white color. Now, let's go wash off this old brush while you guys just check in. Tell me where you're watching from. I love knowing where people are from around the world. There are so many people watching all the time. And it's just fun to know, like, oh, cool, like the video right now is in, Chicago or wherever, right? Like, especially if you're watching after the live, comment and tell me, check in where you're from, because it's cool to see where the video is around the world as people are checking it. It's really neat. So, that's a cool looking painting already, guys, don't you think? As we're washing off and dabbing our brush off on paper towel, we can come back in here into our sand with no paint on the brush now, nice clean brush. And the more that we mix that back and forth with that liquid white paint that's there already, right, the more white, sandy-ish, very light tone that we're gonna have to that guy. And let's put a little bit over here just so we can make sure that our little Florida beach is covered, or a little tip of it over there. Yeah. Now, it's a very similar color to the white canvas, but when we peel off this thing, it's gonna look really cool. Okay, let's get out here, and again, we've only used 4 of our Paint with Josh tools. There are 9 tools that come in the set, and it's awesome. And you can get them for less than normal if you look at where the mods are telling you where to go, right? Bingo, bango. Let's take a little bit of our titanium white paint. We need to push these waves very far away, so let's start underneath our horizon and not try to get too big. If we get too big out there, then it's gonna wanna look very close, right? And if they're very close, we're gonna have to change up how our painting is gonna look. We want these guys to be further away, easier, right? For the beginners, they're easier to do, pushing back. And for you guys that are looking for a little bit more than just the beginner, right? Then you can go back here and add as many details as you want, right? You can take the time, you can sit back here, you can do all this while I'm trying to get it done in maybe less than a half hour just to keep everybody interested. But the more details that you put further away, right, the closer it's gonna bring it. Think about how many actual little bits of waves could you really see if you were standing on the beach? Not very many if they're real far back, right? Now let's come out here. You know what, let's do a little rolling crasher. We're gonna come out here with a little bit of paint, and touch on just a little touch, just like we would do with some tree bark. Not a whole lot of paint out there, right? Just like that, wipe off our blade, come out here, slide it down, 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 down. Ooh, he's gorgeous. Right? How much of that do you want to do? You want to get over here and whip these guys off and create this whole little rolling thing? As it's rolling down, crashing in different ways, different places. We can light up different areas, right? All dependent on us and how we like it, how we want it to be. And then we'll peel off that old stencil, right? Now, let's get back in a little bit of our liquid white onto our Paint with Josh fan brush, and you can see what happens to the Paint with Josh fan brushes. If you do not have enough paint on them, they will split apart. If you get in there and you wiggle down on that paint, they will stick together, showing you that you do have enough actual paint, right? Now, off of this side, let's just say we're gonna come underneath this dude, we're gonna crash. Maybe let's come up and above our horizon in a certain space, just a whole bunch of mess, right? Because the water is gonna be reacting differently each time that we go to paint it. Turn our brush over, drop on a little bit more brightness. We're not trying to make them too big. We're not trying to make them too noticeable. Just like that, a little bit, right? We'll deal with that other side later. Let's get back in here with a little touch of our Paint with Josh 1-inch brush, and then move. Don't just stay in one place. Give it like 1, 2, 3 little swipes, and then get out of there. Move it across, okay? Again, the bigger you make those, the more close they will become. Get down here and start dropping this guy, upward angle. So we're kind of making little Z shapes at an upward angle like that, creating all that stuff that's floating on the water. It just hasn't made it over to where we're arcing over yet. We got our little eye of our wave way off on the side over there on the tip of Florida Peninsula. Right now, we'll take a little bit of our liquid white, titanium white mix, kind of connect onto this guy, and then we can decide, right? Do we want to come way down here and have it way out in front? Do we want to cut up into these and push them further back? Again, it's all up to you every time. So let's come out here. Let's kind of stick along the bottom, creating a little bit of shadow underneath so the two white areas are not necessarily touching right now. Right? It almost looks like, in fact, we could give it a bit more, bring it down even further, just back and forth, little Z shapes. You can start to see the water creeping out over that area. Right? We're in control of what it looks like. Always start higher on one side, lower in the middle, higher up on the other side. It'll make it look like it's more 3D. That does not mean you have to make a giant smiley face, right? Just a little higher up on the one edge, a little lower down in the center, getting further and further closer down to our wet, sandy-ish, beachy area, right? It's all about what you feel like doing every time that you go to do another one, okay? Now, we're almost running out of paint over here. Let's extend this guy out just a little bit. Just a little, bringing him down, trying to leave a little white ridge of paint at the very front of our waves, that's all. It's the only thing you're doing, trying to leave a little line of paint out there, literally. And that's gonna look like the front lip of the wave, and you can change it so many different times, you guys. Have it go out, in, out, whatever you want. Literally, it is so personable and up to you. However you want your painting to be is exactly how it shall be by the time you get down there. Now, it looks like we're all out of paint. So, give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna get some more of my titanium white out of the old paint box down here. It's very highly organized down here, as you can tell by the rustling sounds. Trying to find. I thought I had more in there than I did. This is the white. Okay, let's do it. You guys are so much fun to be in front of, honestly. I love everybody so much for watching. You guys are awesome. I just can't even, I don't even know what I would do if I wasn't doing this, right? I can't imagine doing anything else except for being right here in front of you fine folks. Let's grab a little bit of our liquid white, just like that. Whoops! Oh, I just threw it onto my shirt, you guys. I mean, that is how liquidy liquid white can be. See that? Just flew right onto my shirt. How dare it? Okay, I'm gonna judge 90% of my liquid white pile, grab about 10% of my titanium white, so this pile now equals 100% paint, okay? And it's very runny compared to the titanium white. That liquid white's very, very, very runny. Very liquidy. I might as well just rub this in. There we go, just make it worse. Perfect. Okay, now, underneath, okay, our little area back here, we can even sneak it, just a little touch back in here. Watch this. Little guy. Little detail rolled underneath that guy, okay? What we're gonna do for our beachy area is take this very wet paint, pull it out very flat, scrape up a good amount, okay? You don't wanna have too little when you go to do this. You obviously don't wanna have too much either, okay? Now, the only way to really mess this up is how we say in every video, right, is what, guys? How are you gonna mess this part up if you're doing it at home? It's the one way we talk about it all the time, because you really can't mess it up unless you do one thing, right? And people always test me, they go, aha, I'll prove that theory wrong. Watch, I can mess it up. But the only way you can mess it up is how? Anybody know out there in the class? Anybody? Anybody out there know how we're gonna mess this up? If it touches, exactly, you guys. If it touches is the only way, because then we won't know what is what. We won't know what is sand versus what is water, because they're both very wet in their consistency of the paint, right? So if we have both areas looking very wet in their consistency, we're not gonna be able to tell the difference. Now, let's get back into our 2-inch brush. Remember, you can get these. They are running a deal right now on the Paint with Josh brushes, very lightly across the paint. And all you gotta do is check in the comments where the mods are posting to see how to get them over here. Very light, very light, very light, very light, very light, right? Now, once we go across this guy with our horizontal drags, look how soft that Paint with Josh brush makes the sand. Just so soft, right? Very shiny, very, very, very soft and shiny out there. Now, we're gonna get a little bit more of our liquid white, okay? A little bit more of our titanium white, again, about a 90-10 mix. And we have 2 things to do. First, we can bring down our separation over here. So we left that shadow, we said don't let them touch, so now we can get in here and make them come down very close, right? Too close, and they're gonna touch and we're not gonna be able to tell the difference, right? Too far away, and you're gonna have too big of a separation out there, and you won't know what is what. But you're like, okay, well, I don't know what that big gap is, right? But if you can bring it down to a very, very, very small little separation in between, very small, and everyone's version of very small is different, right? Of course, can't all be exactly the same. So sometimes it can touch your sand too. You can accidentally do that. You're like, oh no, right there. Oh, what happened? Okay, you can always go back and put in your dark separation or put a thicker line on the top of that guy so he stands out as being bright, right? And if you have a thick enough line, especially with these oil paints, it'll cast its own shadow underneath the paint, which is just wild. Okay, now that we've done that, we've used up the majority of that little pile that we made, so let's grab a little bit more liquid white, wipe it down in there, grab about 10% titanium white, pull it down to make up 100% of our pile of paint right here, okay? Bingo, bango. You guys just do me one more favor. Just check in one more time. And after you check in, start thinking in your brain about what we might call this painting by the time we get done, okay? Only using Paint with Josh brushes. I love these brushes. We're gonna grab this guy right here, a little bit of that extra wet paint. We're gonna come out along where our darkness meets our light this time. Okay, so out there, drop it on, push it. Tilt once you start running out of paint, you tilt the front of the blade away, letting it drag off the back, so you have that little bit of foaminess out there. Doesn't have to be perfect, we're just cutting it. See how it's almost like we're pushing it and then pushing it back to load it up onto the edge up here, okay? Out here along the edge, very light, very straight across. Doesn't have to come down and continue going down, or you can start up on this side, dragging it out this way. Just like that. It roll out. Now, number one thing you don't want to do is turn it there and go vertical like that, okay? Please don't do that. Please, don't do that, because it's gonna make your wall of sand look like a giant wall, right? Instead of being nice, soft, sandy area. So, if you did want to get any details up this far, you would need to start over, right? And get higher and higher and higher and higher as you go up that way. A couple little things. Don't need everywhere to be the same. A couple little Z shapes. Just put something in a different place. And the more that you do that, the more it starts to fill up that very glossy area. It's starting to look more like our water is being pulled back towards our sandy or our oceany waves back there. Isn't that cool? Isn't that just the neatest thing you've ever done did around here? Make sure it goes off the edge of our stencil. Dudes, is that not a wicked cool beach? Anybody watching from Florida, does this look like what Florida looks like when you go to do, when you go down to the coast? Or do you guys call it the beach? We call it the coast up here in the Northwest. That's where we're painting from. Anybody out there in Florida? Yes, is that what Florida looks like when you're out there on the beach? I just want to know. I'm not just for educational purposes. Is this Florida-esque to you? Right? That's all I'm asking. Then we're going to come back and we're going to wash out a little brush. Yes. Okay. Let's do it with this guy. Where'd you go? Okay, this guy right here. Okay, we're going to take our Paint with Josh fan brush, the smaller one. We're going to get a very small amount of our odorless mineral spirits into it. Very small. I'm actually dab that off. It might have been too much. Very small amount. Kind of dab it into the thing so you can see the paint turn more watery. Can you see it in the reflection? That very watery patch versus the dry patch that we're normally kind of loading from. And if we can get just the smallest amount of that black paint on it to deposit onto the edge of our little blade over here. Okay? The more that's there, the more we're gonna flick out. The more force that we push through, the more is gonna flick out. So you've gotta be the test, right? We can actually do it right here off of our guy and just start flicking out. Bang, just like that. That's all we need. It's a couple little specks of black onto our canvas. So remembering the more that I flick, the more little specks are gonna come out and the bigger that they're going to come out. Right? And I don't necessarily need them to be too large. We're just kind of judging, flowing back and forth. And I want you to start telling me when it looks like sand to you, right? Because that's our first layer. Come back, we get a little bit more of our odorless mineral spirits onto the brush, just so it's nice and wet. Come back into our brown color. There we go. Right? We don't need too much, and we don't need it to be too thick, right? So you can't be too watery, and it can't be too hard, because otherwise it's not going to come off of the brush. I'm going to tap it on over here again, looking for that same consistency. It's pretty close. We're going to come over here onto our stencil side where I don't care what happens, right? As long as it doesn't get into my shapes. Perfect, okay? Just the right amount. We're going to come over here with a couple little brown flicks, okay? Just start specking it out, specking it out, specking it out. Very small. Very fine little specks, okay? And then we got one more color. So I want you to tell me what that last color would be for the world famous Paint with Josh sand effect, right? That everybody loves. We come back in with our liquid, what color, guys? Liquid, anybody out there? I'm trying to get you to interact with me. White, exactly. No one spelled it right. It's white. You have to put a lot of H's in front of the white, right? Again, we're gonna test into an area. Perfect. Now, the more paint that I have on here and in here, the more chances of like a long streaky drag. All right, so again, we're gonna be very light with the little flicks, very light, very light, very light, making sure I get a lot of it right in there. Perfect, because I know where my stencil is. Now, a lot of times if you're just using the correct amount of paint, which is very, very, very little, right, then that, you won't be able to do your whole bit of sand in one go, okay? So we're gonna come back, we're gonna tap on again. See how much is already in there? It looks like it's gonna get all, look at that. So it's gonna get all gooped up, right? So I'm gonna wipe it off. Check it again. Now we'll still flick good right there. Okay, a little bit, tapping it onto the edges again. Test into an area first. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna start flicking them off. I don't see anything coming off. So we might have gotten rid of too much paint, which is okay, because I'd much rather have less paint, right? And not have, or having too much. There we go. A couple little white specks. You can get them into your little watery area back here. We're going to throw them into our waves as well back here, right? So the more that you have on there, the more it starts looking like wet sand, guys. Now let's wash that little brush out, because it can't hold so much paint all the time. It's just a little old fan brush, right? Just a little guy. So we'll go back in, we'll get a little bit more of our liquid white. Come over here on the edge again, tap it on, test it into a non-noticeable place. And if you're using those stencils, then test it on the stencil paper first, that contact paper, right? Does that start looking more and more like your wet, or your white Florida sandy beaches out there, you guys? Is it? Does it? White, exactly, Antoinette, exactly. Exactly. Man, that's looking so stinking neat, you guys. Literally, it just screams Florida to me. Woo! Right there, a little bit of foam out on the edge. It's rolling up. We've got that wet, sheeny, like saturated area, and then your lighter area back here. I'm just loving this one. Holy cow. Okay, let's grab our Paint with Josh liner brush, the most famousest of all liner brushes known to exist in mankind's existence. In the history of man. That's not enough yet. Okay. If you guys want to know where I get my brushes, right? I have my own Paint with Josh brush kit. It is an amazing kit, and you can get it for less right now than normal because of our little promotional deal over there we got going on. And it's really cool. Let's check this out. We got to be careful where we put those birds, right? If we put them right here, they'll disappear. So let's pop them in down here. Just way down, close to the horizon, and go caw, just flying out there, man. Coming in for a landing. Oh, I love it. Okay, now are you guys ready for the peel reveal, which is my favorite part about doing these stencils? Once you do it once, you can't. It's like they're like Pringles. Once you pop the first peel, you can't stop. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. So you guys start coming up with a title for this guy, right? Man, that is a cool little ocean scene. Nice soft little wave. Not a lot of detail out there, right? Not a lot of anything really. And I'm noticing there's not a lot of oceany spray. So let's get back up in here. There we go. Filling this guy out. Letting it just hitting over here. Maybe we're going this way. Just wherever we want it to be. And again, we're just dragging the very smallest amount of paint off of the palette tool with our fan brush. And just letting it slap against the canvas. That's it. Right? Don't get too close or you will actually hit the canvas when you're trying to do some sprays. I've done it before. Don't worry. Don't worry. I've literally done everything before at least once. Everything that you can possibly do, I've already done, right? Again, we've done it live on camera at some point. Ocean sprays. I like that. Cape Seas. I dig that one too. Dig that. Are you guys ready for the peel? Calm breeze. That's cool. Are you ready for the peel reveal? Let me get around the side. Just make sure that this thing will come off. Firstly, since this is a white canvas underneath, right, I'm really gonna make sure that we're not gonna leave any marks on this guy because I love how this one came out. Goodness gracious, right? So, if you guys are ready for the reveal, then you gotta tell me. Oh yeah, check this out. All that pure white canvas underneath. Ooh, gonna be so cool. Are you ready? Or your Healing Seas, I like that one. Anybody? Is no one ready? No one wants to see the peel? Right, do you think it's just that? Yes? Oh, okay, cool, someone. At least one person out there wants to see it removed. Right, maybe you've seen the show before. Guys, that is gonna be so nice. Look at that fresh white canvas underneath. When we peel off this whole thing, what is gonna be left? Is your question. Maybe you weren't here in the beginning and you didn't see the shape or you couldn't tell. What's gonna be left, Josh, when we peel it off? We've been talking about Florida this whole time. You guys ready? Let's see it. Oh, look at that for a crisp, clean line. Get that part, get off there. There we go. Woo, guys, ready? Okay, so there's Florida, and then what's with it? I wonder. A little seashell, how stinking cute is that? Come on now. Come on now. Get off of there. Need to really get these guys on and gesso them on because it was just trying to lift so many times. But look at this. Oh, that's pretty. That's pretty right there. That is pretty cool. Now, got this one piece. It's just trying to be a bum. There we go. Gorgeous. Now I'll have to finish a couple of spots where we kind of overleaked a little bit, maybe two little spaces right there, but for the most part, that is a pretty crisp. Look at that! I just looked at it in the camera. Holy cow! That is cool. And then I touched it right here with my finger. So, of course, we'll have to cover over that area, but that one came out really, really, really neat, you guys. Really neat. If you're asking me, dude. That is cool. What do you guys think? Let's see. What do you guys think of this one? Oh, man. It's amazing. I appreciate you. I appreciate it. Dude, that's cool. Love it. Cool, cool. That's wicked neat. I was hoping we'd find somebody in Florida who might appreciate this one, right? So let's sign it with our, let's see, odorless mineral spirits. You guys start hitting me with some titles. Then we'll pick a title. And then we'll get out there, see what's going to happen. What are we going to name this thing? You let me know. Let's put it down here. We'll put it way down here and out of the way, like we like to do over there. Dang, ooh, that's a crisp one. I like it, you guys. So, let me know what you want to call this one, okay? We need a title for it, no matter what. So, there we go. Let me know what you want to call it. We got the 3-bird signature, the JK. It's all set and ready, guys. And man alive, that looks cool. Okay, let me clean off a few of these brushes while you guys are hitting me with some titles. Let's see what you want to name this thing. And I figure if I was going to do something from every state, or at least the states that we have, that Florida would be really cool. Really cool. Bingo, bango, guys. I love that. So when we put on our contact paper, which is that wood grain looking stuff, we put that on, got it to stick onto the canvas, then I gessoed over it twice, like 2 very thick layers to hold down and keep any bubbles from kind of bubbling up around the edges, only because we had to cut these two and stick them together. They don't come like this, right? This is one, this is the other, both on rectangular pieces of paper that needed to overlap. So I had to do a little bit of cutting and matching and fitting, and this was a very difficult one to get the stencils to stick on for, and then we really gessoed over it along the bottom, or along the entire thing to try to get it to stick, and which made it a softer surface to paint on as well. So let me finish cleaning these off. You guys come up with some titles, and then we'll see what we're gonna name it. Remember, if you get it during the show, you get to pick its title forever. and then it becomes yours, right? You should be able to choose the title for that painting, which literally we did in like 23 minutes, 24 minutes, something like that, and then wasted some time peeling off the stencil. Sometimes they come off nice and easy, but that one I had so much gesso on top of it. This is why it took a little bit of extra time. Man, that one's cool. Healing Seas, I like that. I love that soft sky above the horizon back there. Is really neat. Really neat. What's gesso? Okay, that's a good question, actually. So, gesso is the acrylic base that covers your canvas, right? If you have a black canvas that it was a white canvas that has been black gessoed, right? It's covered with a very watery acrylic paint that spreads more easily than your regular white acrylic or your black acrylic paint. So once you put it on, of course, trying to seal the edges of this thing down and then let that acrylic dry, then it becomes just as regular as your prepped canvas, your primed canvas. This is what they prime the canvas with. They say triple primed. That's what they mean. They've covered it in this acrylic base paint however many times, 2 times, 3 times, 1 time, however many times. And it really, the more you do it, the more smooth of a surface, because it fills in all the dimples of the canvas, right? Have you ever looked real close at what canvas looks like? It's not just a straight thing, like a piece of plastic or a piece of metal. There's a bunch of divots, little high points and low points in it, billions of them, right? Stuck together. And so that gesso kind of fills in those things and makes it a little bit more slippy slidey. And it's spelled with a G, by the way. G-E-S-S-O instead of a J. It sounds like a J, I agree, but it's a G. And I love that stuff. Sometimes when we do anytime I'm doing most times, right, when we're doing coastal paintings, you would have the black, the bottom half of the canvas would be black. It'd be much easier to retain those shadows and not have to put so much paint to cover up all the white canvas, right? And that's when we would use black gesso, is we would put a piece of tape across it, black out the whole bottom, wait for it to dry, peel it off, and then you'd have an Oreo canvas, I call them, which is black and white, right? A little half and half ski. I think eventually, if we get big enough, right, maybe, because Michaels has started making black canvases in all sorts of different shapes and sizes that they never used to anymore. And I was like, the one time that I see a half and half black and white canvas, I will know I have made an impression enough that Michaels would start selling half and half black canvases, black and white anyway. That would be a day to celebrate for me, guys, literally. Speaking of celebrations, we are in the midst of using our Paint with Josh brush set. I hope they're all in there. That's funny. I'm using the fan brushes from it. But the Paint with Josh brush set, foam fitted, collectible box with hard cardstock poster, guys. I'm telling you, if you don't already have these, you gotta get them. They're so nice. Literally, I love using them. I use the palette tool every day, the fan brushes every day, the 1 and 2 inch brush every day, guys. Honestly, come on. Literally love those brushes. And you can get them too, and make the exact same shapes and have the exact same results as your old pal, Paint with Josh. Now, give me a title for this painting. All right, I'm gonna finish wiping down the old palette over here. Ba-boom. And we got, what, next week? Dude, October is gonna be so full of freaking classes. I'm gonna be traveling literally every week. So we're doing less live shows in October, but I've got classes at the end of this month, and I'll be traveling up there Sunday morning, arriving directly before the classes start, and it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be fantastic. Teaching those, coming back home, and then a week later going up to Gaston to Comfy Paints, teaching classes up there, coming back home, and then a week later going up to Washington and teaching classes up there, and then coming back home. So it's very busy in October, which I love. I love traveling and doing these classes. They're so much fun. Meeting all the people, all the followers from everywhere that can't come down and meet me, I go out and meet them, and it's just fantastic. So, what do you guys got for a title? Let's see. Any titlers out there? Man, this one is so nice. From A&G. That's awesome. Seashells by the seashore. Does Sally sell them? Sally sells seashells. I can't whistle the whole thing. Seashells by the my tongue won't work anymore. I bit the tip of my tongue yesterday, like trying to get a piece of ice, like bite a piece of ice, and just literally almost bled. It hurt. It hurt, guys. So, let's see. I like that for a title. Let's go with Seashells by the Seashore, but I can't find a marker to sign. Where are my markers at? What? Oh. Literally standing on it. It had fallen off the table near my feet, and we stood on it. Okay, so Seashells by the Seashore. Right? Is that what she said? Yeah, pretty positive. Pretty positive, that's what they said. Okay, let's title this one just like that. Over here, boom, 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 number, what's it? Guys, 2063. I think it's 2063. Is it? Just come over here. Seashells by the Seashore. Long title, but I love it. Okay, painted on 9/19/2019. We're all going to go to Paint with Josh. All right, and then we're going to put the little period. And then the little letters that go at the end of everything. You guys already know, right? We still need that number, though. Did I look? 2063. Thank you very much. That is how many paintings we've done in 6 years. 2,063 paintings as of right now in 6 years' time. Tell me somebody who paints more than me, please. I would love to hear or see. You guys are so cool. So I can't wait to see your guys' versions of this wicked cool painting. Remember, you can get these stencils right on my place, or send me a message. I'll send you. I'll be able to get you over there. And beyond that, I can't wait to see your versions. Even if you don't have the stencil, just do the Seascape exactly how we did it, except finish it to the bottom and the sides, and it's going to be fantastic. You're going to love it. I love how it's kind of falling here, and then all of a sudden, all the splash, the spray, the water, the sand, the dark, the shininess. Oh, it's just wicked cool. So, can't wait to see your version. Send it in to my book page over there, which is at Official Paint with Josh, or my IG, which is at Paint with Josh K. Same as on TikTok, at Paint with Josh K. And if you want to find me on YouTube, go to Paint with Josh, right? At Paint with Josh over there. Beyond that, you guys have been fantastic. I can't wait to see you on the next one. And until I see you guys again next time, take care. Have the rest of a good day. And wow. Boosh, my goodness. Goodness gracious, guys. That was nice. I like